Good morning. I'm David Coombe with the CBS AM Debrief this Friday, the 11th of March, just coming up to 8:30 a.m. And big night last night. The Dow's lost its grip on 12,000. It's actually had its worst drop since August the 11th of last year. And it's the first close below 12,000 since January 31. We've sort of done a lot of talk about a bit of a correction coming up, and maybe it's a bit early to call it that, but clearly the concerns about an oil spike that could jeopardise or slow global growth, put in jeopardy the European zone recovery, all sparked by reports, or partly sparked by reports of police in Saudi Arabia shooting at protesters. So we talked, I think, yesterday or earlier in the week about the Day of Rage that was planned for the Friday Day of Prayers, being today. And yeah, so I guess we'll need to watch all that pretty closely. So certainly be suggesting if you're long, you want to be tightening your stops at this point. Or even looking at just getting into cash. So a bit of a concern here for today. So let's have a look at those numbers specifically. The Dow down 228 points at 1.87, the S&P 500 down 1.89, and the Nasdaq down a almost identical figure. The rest of the Americas so much the same. Europe with the FTSE down 1.55, so a big move there. CAC down 0.75, and the DAX down just under 1%. Right across Europe, though, in the red. Yesterday we were down 68 points on the local index. The Hang Seng down 0.82 and the Nikkei down 1.46. Move on, for the suggested openings here. The SPY pointing down 34 points to 46.55. And the Hang Seng down 120 and the Nikkei down just 20. So a little bit of tapering off perhaps of the falls here suggested by the futures. Okay, commodities. Interestingly, pretty much all down across the board, and crude actually losing ground, which seems a little odd given the the reports coming out of Saudi. Natural gas down 2.52, back down $3.83. So not going where we'd like it there. Pardon me. As for the rest of the commodity space, the big move is coffee down 4.85, corn 2.60, orange juice down 2.18, sugar big fall there 5.62%, rough rice 3.69, oats down 3. And the only rises there are wool, soybean meal, and soybeans. Copper continuing to fall, $4.1980, down 1.45. Gold at $14.12 and 20 cents, down $17.40, and silver 35.18. Pardon me. A frog in my throat this morning. Okay, moving across to the currencies. Euro buying 1.3786, pound buying 1.6049, and the US dollar buying 82.9375 yen. Aussie back below parity at 99.94, and the US dollar buying 0.9757 Canadian and 0.9321 Swiss francs. Okay, we'll take a look at the economic calendar now. And we can see that the US trade balance numbers came in worse than expected, negative 46 billion versus 41 expected in previous 40. GDP estimate out of the UK came in at plus 0.2. Then we've got some Chinese CPI data due out at 1 o'clock this afternoon, some European data and UK data, and then some employment numbers out of Canada. They'll be relatively important there. And then finally moving into the retail sales numbers early tomorrow morning. Our expectation is 0.9% for February Okay, moving on to the Falcon Trader. Tried to load up the yen chart yesterday. I don't know if I was doing something wrong. But we've got the weekly here, and this was the one that Jonathan suggested could be the way to play the US dollar and to play US dollar strength. And I'm getting a pennant formation setting up here. That is a weekly, so I'll go back to a daily. Okay, that outlines it there. We've had these inner upward trend line that's looking pretty good here. Okay, that gives a slightly better picture of it there. So that's one to look at. Just have a quick look through here to see what else is happening. Medusa had a big fall yesterday. Anyone that was in there looking for that bounce back off that level here, I'll just move it another way, just under $7. I think I talked about having a stop loss, fairly tight stop loss under there. Well, unfortunately, would have been triggered out of that. This is about the third time that we've played Medusa here and done okay out of it. So I guess I have to give a little back, perhaps. Not quite sure where this is going to go. Maybe to the low $6, but I'd certainly be looking at considering picking some up on a dip down to that level. However, as I mentioned earlier, don't really know if this is the time to be looking at getting into the equity markets until we've got these geopolitical concerns behind it. So I think on that note, I'm going to finish up the session here and say to everyone, have a great weekend. Yeah, good luck with today, and we'll see what next week brings us. Okay, thanks for your attention. Bye now.